Hello everyone, this is Navneet Singh Sandhu here from Metalhead Spotted, and today we are having a very special guest with us, Arun Iyer from Devoid.
Hi viewers and listeners of Metalhead Spotted. This is Arun Iyer from Devoid.
So what was the turning point in Devoid history, and are there any special memories you'd like to share with us?
So Devoid formed in, I think, 2005. The years and dates are sketchy at this point because it's been a while since we formed. It was me initially and the band's drummer Shubham. We lived in the same building. It was a three-wing building, and we used to jam. And I was already a part of another startup band called Bloodbath Regiment with my brother and a couple of friends. And Afaq Azad was a part of that band. In fact, it was a laugh riot, the entire act. But we finished. We were doing our scenes, and me and Shubham used to also jam. And we had a common sense of common genre, so as to say, of music that we love to play, that we like to play every now and then. And that's how we came to know that we were going to start a band. And then we were looking out for guitarists and bass guitarists, lead guitarists and bass guitarists, because by then I had already decided to play the home guitars for the band. So we were looking actually for even a vocalist at that point, lead guitarist and a bass guitarist. And slowly and steadily we found people. By then I had already picked up guitars and vocals. That was a shot in the dark, and we just went on with it. So that's how I became a vocalist guitarist. Otherwise, it was not meant to be. I was not meant to be a vocalist and guitarist, but it just started off with that, and then we went ahead with it. And we found Keshav, who also lived in the same colony, who came and we had a song, master of it, that we wanted to nail at that point, and this guy could. So that was the audition that made it for him, and at that point we became a band. Me, Shubham, and Keshav, and then we looked for bass guitarists high and low, and we couldn't find anyone. And after a point in time, we came across this guy from another band from all over across 7 seas. This guy called Frank, who played for another band at that point who had not played gigs as of yet, called Atmosphere. And he was the bass guitarist for that band. And they had come here actually not to audition per se for as a bass guitarist. They had actually come down with the intention of stealing our drummer, which is Shubham. They wanted a drummer for their band. And we ended up liking Frank as a bass guitarist, and he joined the band, and we played for the longest part of being Devoid. That was the lineup, which is Keshav, Frank, me, and Shubham. And then we played shows, and we had by then we had already come up with a couple of songs. We had made a few songs, and by the end of, I think, 4 or 5 years that we had finished writing for an album, and then we thought, okay, this is when it's actually happening, and we need to record our first debut album. I mean, that's when I think the turning point, as you mentioned it, happened. The realization that we were a band. The first album that we recorded together was when that happened. And then later on, there were lineup changes, and Sanju came on board as the lead guitarist, and Abhishek Kamdar came as the bass guitarist for the band. And then we recorded another album with that lineup, with the current lineup, and that album is The Invasion. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't an album, it was a half-length. It was a half-length album, yeah.
So tell us about the concept behind your EP, The Invasion.
There's, it's not a head-scratcher, it's a pretty straightforward concept. It's about aliens invading the Earth and the final moments. Before the final moments, and then while the destruction happened, and then the post-apocalypse kind of scenario is what I want to do, like fiddle around. I was already interested in that kind of a theme, that I thought, okay, let's try that out, and we did. I mean, it was a hit and a miss, so that was the concept. Pretty straightforward, actually.
God, that would be one thing in common at both of your releases so far. A God's Life, The Invasion. There seems to be keen interest with God for the band. Any specific reason behind it?
Yes, I mean, God was always, I don't know why, but I'm just stuck. I like debating the concept of God or the Almighty or the intelligent creator. I like talking about that. That's what takes up most of my viewing space. That's yeah. So and plus I have had personal experiences with religious people going wrong. So coupled with all of that, I had a strong sentiment against it, which is why I think the theme kind of stuck with itself. I mean, the God thing is very. I mean, who is not curious about that? So it's that kind of thing.
Well, abnormal guitar work is one of the Devoid's trademarks. What are your initial influences as a guitarist?
Okay. Then in that case makes us abnormal guitarists. But no, we're not abnormal guitarists. We're playing thrash metal. How abnormal can it get? Well, so but our influences range from 80s thrash bands, which could be the Big Fours, which are the Big Fours, and other obscure bands and Sepultura and Pantera and all those guys. But and then it steadily progressed into death metal, which was the later 90s part of our music. So our influences range from, and then it went into the 2000 era of metal, which had like different pieces of every genre, which is mostly death thrash metal, technical death metal. Is where we stepped into through Decapitated and and bands like Vader and people who play really fast and can bring out some technicality without losing the pulse of the song. That would be our influences as far as guitarists.
And your personal influences as a guitarist?
My personal influences as guitarists would be, I mean, pretty much the same guys that I just mentioned. Definitely the Slayer guitarists, the Metallica guitarists, the Megadeth, the Sepultura, the Exodus, the Cannibal Corpse, the Decapitated, at this point, at some level, maybe some more like faceless stuff, Psychoroptic. That's my like space of influence.
So when it comes to making of music, do you guys initially work on the lyrics, then the music, or music first, then the lyrics?
Always, no. Music first, then the lyrics falls into place.
So how was the Wacken experience for the band?
Wacken experience was great. It was a learning curve for the band. We've never played a show outside of India, and this was the first of its kind. And not just outside of India, this was in the heartland of metal, Germany, Wacken. So it was a learning curve to put it softly. It was a great experience altogether. I mean, I don't know. Words fail me when describing Wacken because you have to be there to experience it. It's not just playing there. It's to be there and to see how a metal scene outside of our confines looks and feels like. And that experience itself is very hard to point pin down in words. But in short, if I was to break it down, then it would be a learning curve that we desperately needed, a sort of a perspective, a mindset change that we needed to work as a band.
Wow, really great. How did you maintain a persistent sound and outlook with the way of working as a mix of thrash and death metal musical styles?
Okay, I'm very glad that you asked this question because according to you, I mean, at this point, it seems like we have maintained some semblance of death thrash in our two releases as of yet, which is an interesting thing to hear because usually I would personally think that we did deviate quite a bit with a new release. But, people need to know that as musicians, now a lot of things change. I mean, the essence is always there. Nothing goes away. I mean, there is nothing wrong with, being exposed to something refreshingly new. And that usually changes it influences the influences that one has, and that has changed our very core of music. But in a good way, as far as I understand, because no, aggression without a structure is nothing, and a structure without aggression is nothing. So we are still in the process. We haven't achieved it. We're still in the process of understanding how to strike that balance, and how to best bring out of what we feel is aggressive, and what we feel is something that you can like take your peer and like lift it high up in the air and have a good time with. I mean, headbang, and that balance is something that we are trying to work on with the new release, with the new songs that we have written right now.
Awesome, man, awesome. I mean, you guys had a great 2013 with the release of The Invasion, the Best Drummer Award at Rolling Stone, playing at Back and Open Air. So what's in the store for 2014?
2014, I think that 2013 itself wasn't all that big. I mean, yes, we did do these. I mean, I would consider them as milestones in our band career, but I still think that 2014 has a lot more to offer, because we actually do have like legit shows lined up. We have a better understanding of how the band system works. We have a better understanding of how we could probably push our music. So with 2014, I mean, hanging in the balance, and with having gone through 2013, I think all I can say is, I mean, 2014 does look a lot better in perspective, with having our heads screwed in straight, and with understanding the whole dynamic system. I think 2014 should be a good year.
So if I'll ask you best thrash metal albums of all time?
Two that straight up come to my mind, three that straight up come to my mind are Metallica Master Puppets. I think that is definitely like straight up the best album of all times. Then there is Raining Blood by Slayer, and then you have maybe Megadeth. I'm sorry, I'm like stating the obvious, but these albums did take the thrash metal scene to a whole new level. And by Megadeth, I meant Rust in Peace.
No doubt, man, no doubt. So, man, well, Thrashfest is just around the corner. The lineup is like insane, and it surely has a lot to offer to thrash metal lovers. So, what you guys expect from Thrashfest this time?
We don't expect big word from any of the gigs. We expect only that people come. The rest of the expectation lies in the audience's perspective, meaning the audience needs to expect. We need to deliver. So, as far as we are concerned, the expectation is just that they come, and then they stay for the entire show. And the rest of the expectation that needs to be fulfilled is from our side, which is as a band and from as a part of the bill. So the expectation is that they come, and as long as that is fulfilled, we'll take care of the rest.
So anything more you'd like to say to the attendees of Thrashfest?
The attendees of Thrashfest, I am extremely glad that you guys have made the choice of coming. I personally think that thrash metal is pretty much the backbone of the genre of metal, because that's where it became what it is right now. And having said that, there should be so many thrash metal fans, and there are. So and there are quite a few thrash metal, a lot of thrash metal fans, and there's nothing much to say about it, about those guys, other than the fact that these guys are fun-loving, drinking assholes who love to come beat shit up and like make a ruckus and have a good time. But having said that, I want to thank them for making the effort of coming down to Thane, because it is a long shot from, say, Bombay. So I'm thankful that these guys have made that choice of coming to the show.
Well, Arun, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Navneet. Thanks a lot. Thank you.